He will not force
Hi everybody. I have a little reveal. Ta-da! So these are just some of the kind of technologies that we are about to use at the V&A Museum of Childhood. Hopefully, oh look, there it is. I wanted to use as much kind of technology that we'll be using in the session, in this session. So this particular presentation is running off of this. This is my computer. This is a Raspberry Pi 0W. In fact, that bit isn't. It's even smaller than that. It's that bit there at the back. This gained a lot of notoriety because it's £4 and it's running this. Doesn't look any different to the computer that was on beforehand. It was actually given away on the front of a magazine. It's the first computer that's ever been given away in bubble wrap on the front of a magazine called Magpie, which is the Raspberry Pi magazine. So it is a very small, low-cost Raspberry Pi. I thought I'd start off with a couple of quotes that gives you some idea of where the Museum of Childhood wants to go. Probably Thomas Edison would change that to a pile of stuff because he'd certainly want to include some of these technologies. I'm going to be around hopefully most of the day, so if anybody wants to come up during the breaks or at lunchtime and have a little play with this stuff, then you can. I'll just switch some of them on, etc., and we'll see what they do. I won't put the really noisy ones on, etc. So let's move on. So I'm calling this Making the V&A Museum of Childhood Steam. I was going to call it Steaming in the V&A Museum of Childhood, but I thought that would send the wrong image. So here we are, we're making it steam. So it's really why we would want to do this. And for those of you unfamiliar with that term STEAM, I'm sure none of you are, but it is science, technology, engineering, art, and maths that make up STEAM. There is another one which is used quite a lot, which is ACT, which is art, craft, and technology. And that's something that the museum likes as well. But the thing is, we were already steaming. These are just some of the toys and games that we use for a lot of our sessions. On the right here, you have gravity toys. So we can teach forces, clockwork, electrical motors, circuits, etc. So we already do a lot of steaming. By the way, these are the favourite toys. So if you put them together with any other toys, it's the gravity toys that win. And I kid you not, but I did a session the other day, the entire class, all 30, voted for the gravity toys being the favourite toys. I then said, which of the gravity toys is your favourite? You'll see 4 of them there. Is it the little clown on the right-hand side? No, nobody. Ah, it's a shame. Is it the clown on the left-hand side? No, nobody. Is it Crazy Cat in the middle? No, nobody. Is it Jacob's Ladder? Everybody. So that's 30 children for a toy that ostensibly goes like that. Oh, look, it drops down. Oh, it drops down. I mean, that's really all you can do with it. But when you ask them, it's the engineering of a thing that looks like something is falling, but it's not. It's the way that it's built. And we thought that was just absolutely wonderful, that they should cite that as the reason. What is new about the things that we're doing is the use of maker technologies. And you'll see some of them are up there, some of them I have down here. My little robots are going a little bit mad. One of the kids' favourites is Marty, the robot up here. All of these robots, bar one, which are the ones that are scooting around here, are DIY, and that was really important to us so that the children could see how they were constructed. And if they wanted to, could go and construct one themselves. I mean, it's not pretty, is it? This has been through a lot, and this is run by the BBC Microbit, a £15 device that was given away to every Year 7 school pupil a few years ago. I'm going to turn it on. Hopefully it will give you a little taste of what it can do. And this is a cleaning, this is something that cleans the floor. Fantastic, it does that. Okay. However, the children have to program all these. They have to, using one of these, which is a beautiful Raspberry Pi computer, they have to actually program everything to do specific tasks. Creative programming, applied computing or physical computing. The great thing about these is that the front comes off so that you can see everything inside of it and you can plug things in. So this is really a computer that is about making physical things. We didn't want to go down that route of everything becoming a kind of iPad, the black mirror, everything into the kind of screen. We wanted stuff that was physical and that you can do. And one of the most popular things is this one here, which is called the Fizzbit. Okay, this is the Fizzbit. Again, this is all very, very cheap stuff. The great thing about this is you plug it into a USB socket, you leave it for around about 30 seconds, and it does this. Of course, it's not going to do that because it's not plugged in. I've just realised that. What it will do is it will jump around for about 30 seconds, little motor, vibration. So what the children can do is they can start to build draw bots and tiny little things. So within the session, they actually get to create something that actually moves. And one of the things we're looking at a business model where actually they get to take them all home as well. So we're kind of exploring that. Okay. So what are maker technologies? Really, they're anything that allow you to make something else, which is quite a broad kind of definition. So you have things like Raspberry Pi, the BBC Microbit. One that's very unpopular from across the pond, the United States, is Little Bits, electronic Lego that magnetically puts together like that. You can't put it the wrong way around because it repels. So you can build amazing things kind of like just by kind of plugging it in. Where you see DIY, DIY, that's doing it yourself and doing it with others. And part of the whole kind of like maker thing is collaboration. I will make something and I will make that available, I will share it. And somebody else will take what I've made and make something else and share that. And the proliferation of that kind of sharing, of that hacking, if you like, or modifying, creates this huge community of people that are making things and sharing things. It's happening right now. It's often referred to as the biggest global phenomena you've never heard of, because it's just all over. There was a maker fair, which is where people physically get together to show each other what they're doing. In Berlin, there's about to be one in Paris, Barcelona, Caracas, all over the world. All of these amazing things are being done. And it comes under the umbrella of the maker movement, a global community of makers sharing their stuff online and offline. So, and if you look, maker technologies, often people think of them as digital, but you can digital, electronic, mechanical, different materials that people are doing. There's one, I think it's called Form It, hard plastic. You put it in a cup of very hot water, 30 seconds, bring it out, it's completely mouldable. Fantastic. What can you make with that? Fantastic. And then maybe match it with one of these. Gosh, you know, sky's the limit. You can make all sorts of things. And increasingly now, chemical and biological making is kind of very popular. Okay, I think I need to. Why maker technologies? Well, here's a list. I will make this available to all of you, so don't feel that you have to kind of read everything. But the democratizing of technology is really, really important because we have kind of in many ways become slaves to our phone. My phone knows more about me than I know about it. And it is constantly collecting information about me, which is then going out to I don't know who. Through these kinds of technologies, you start to understand how the technology works, and there's very much kind of I control the technology, not the other way round. There is already this built-in community. You don't have to start one. It's really about museums and cultural spaces joining that community, not deciding we're going to set a community up which people can join us. It's us joining them. It obviously develops lots of skills. They're not called self skills anymore. Somebody said to me, no, they're called power skills. Oh, that's much better. Power skills, problem solving, collaborating, those kinds of things. And these are wonderful for that. And you can, really, there isn't an audience that can't do this kind of thing. And, you know, start a little maker space, a little making with the staff. You know, maybe one lunchtime a week, everybody comes in and just tinkers and plays. These are really popular in hospitals. A lot of hospitals have maker spaces for their staff, so their staff can think about problems that perhaps some of their patients are having and maybe go and solve it by making something. And they've become really, really popular, especially in the States. So the actual session itself. Here are some of the draw bots that the kids have kind of like worked on. These ones down here at the bottom, they actually, when you touch them, they make sounds as well. So not only do they draw, but they talk to you as well. They can do, if you program them like that. So the actual session is a hands-on session, 90 minutes. So that was a difficult one to sell to the museum, by the way, 90 minutes, because that means we're not going to get 90 kids a day through. It'll only be 60, but they said, oh, fair enough. I think they're thinking that we're going to be able to shave time off and do it in the end, but we'll see. So 90 minutes. You start off with an interactive presentation. Second activity is exploring, coding and hacking one of 5 different types of robot: industrial, domestic, learning, entertainment, and exploring. And you do it all through this, and you use the program Scratch and Microsoft Block editors, which are the ones that are taught in schools. So we want to kind of match up with the skills that the kids are already using. It's aimed at upper Key Stage 2, but we think we can drill it right down. I've worked with Key Stage 1, and they kind of get it, you know, not perhaps in the same way. And then the third little bit at the end is they design and make a draw bot themselves out of junk, out of craft materials. And the curriculum links, as you see, are mainly computing, science, design, technology. But there's also that element of history as well, because we look at automatons. We look at kind of like early examples of what you might regard as robots. And of course, it's linked to the collections, so they can then go out and see kind of, you know, what robots looked like in the 1950s, which is probably the classic view. If you say robot, that's one. I'm going to think of Robbie out of Lost in Space or something like that, etc. But for them to think about perhaps the flute player, which is probably one of the classic kind of automatons, etc. But it goes back even further than that. First robot, maybe 12th century China, maybe even earlier. It's a fascinating subject. So is that historical or social kind of sense? There you go. That's what a robot looks like. So challenges, enthusiasm to bookings. People have said, oh, this is a brilliant idea, fantastic, etc. How do you turn that enthusiasm into kind of actual bookings? So there's a lot of kind of marketing to be done. Time is always the energy. For something, to be really creative, it's difficult to kind of get it into those kind of, you know, there's a 20-minute portion right here, right? Everybody, be creative right now. It's a difficult one. That's why we've kind of expanded it out to 90 minutes, and hopefully we lead them into being able to do that. And actually down at the bottom there, creativity versus instruction. We do want them to be able to problem solve themselves, to think of solutions to something rather than us just saying, here is the solution to the problem that you have. It's much better. It's more enjoyable. So again, commitment. A lot of people see this stuff and think, what on earth is this kind of stuff? And, you know, why should I be interested? Surely an iPad with your website with some kind of resource on it is much better kind of, you know, time spent than dabbling with these kinds of toys, are they, perhaps? I don't know. I would say they are, but there's nothing wrong in that at all. Some of the best things are toys, aren't they? So staff skill set is one as well. I do this particular one, I deliver this one, so that's okay. Would somebody else feel comfortable doing it? Well, I think it's, you learn how to do it, don't you? I mean, we're expecting 30 children to come in and to do that, so why not? Let's do that ourselves. I'll finish with this one. Douglas Rushkoff is a media theorist. And I think that we really do need to do that. We really do need to think about the technology that we're using, the impact that it has on both us, other people and our world. And I just love that one at the end, play is the highest form of research. Coming from a toys and games museum, play is probably our primary learning methodology that we use. I don't think there's any better. So I'll be around all day. If anybody has any questions now, I know that was a little bit fast, but I think that's the first time I've ever finished on time. That's incredible. So give myself a double mini fist bump.